Consider for a moment 3 very different kinds of life. The first is led by a tech billionaire who spends almost 80 hours per week at the office. He's building an innovative platform, and there's huge demand for it. He's creating massive amounts of wealth, but gives large portions of it away. Indeed, he has virtually single-handedly lifted more people out of poverty through his charitable efforts throughout the world than the combined efforts of thousands of nonprofits over decades of work. The second life is led by a perfect exemplar of traditional morality. She feeds the hungry by hand and lives in solidarity with the poor. She's personally housed hundreds of homeless men and women over the years and contributed to the deep personal transformation of those in her local community. She attends city council meetings and court proceedings to advocate for the unlearned, all while cultivating deep virtues in her own character. The third life is led by an honest hedge fund manager on the East Coast. He's no moral saint, and he doesn't claim to be, but he's a dependable patron of the arts. He eats fine foods and drinks fine wines, more or less in moderation, and always with his good friends. He's developed formidable skills as an amateur musician, and he reads classical literature. The values implemented in these 3 lives are not, of course, mutually exclusive, but they do bring out and allow us to reflect on how different core values can lead to very different answers to the question, what makes a life good? If you think that morality ought to play an overarching role in guiding your life decisions, you might be attracted to lives 1 or 2. Which one you find more appealing may depend largely on where the deepest moral obligations lie. Are our deepest obligations to merely alleviate as much suffering as we can among the poor and vulnerable? Or is there some value in achieving these ends to a lesser degree, but in the context of having deep personal relationships? Perhaps you think that morality, while it's really important, simply isn't so important as to crowd out other non-moral virtues, like good taste, the cultivation of artistic skills, and a broadly trained mind. We often think of morality as an abstract code, but on the Aristotelian approach that we've been introducing you to, it's just as important to see how morality emerges in your lived experience. Sometimes knowing where you're making a good life decision requires reflecting on the life story that decision is a part of. Whichever view you're ultimately drawn toward, one important upshot of this discussion is the way in which life stories embody, in a way that theorizing rarely does, the lived experience that tends to inform the views we hold on big questions. Exposing yourself to such stories and evaluating what it is that you find attractive about a particular life can be a helpful way of continuing to hone your answer to the big picture question of this course.